arrested for not giving up my seat to a white man.
I was 15 when I was arrested for not giving up my seat because I'm black.
History thinks I stayed seated because I was tired, old.
History thinks I remained seated because I was a rebellious teenager, delinquent.
I was no more tired than I was after any normal work day as a seamstress.
I was a straight A student at Booker Washington High.
I was only 42, but I was tired. But not in the physical heavy bones way.
I was only 15 and I was tired, but not in the restless looking to stir up trouble
I was
way.
tired in that way that you don't want to take such abuse anymore. Anyway.
I was tired in that way that I'm tired of doing the right thing for the wrong reason kind of way.
I was arrested December 1st, 1955. I made a choice that day.
I was arrested and convicted March 1955, 9 months before Rosa Parks. My story would go on to be part of Browder versus Gale, the Supreme Court ruling that ended segregation on public transportation.
It was feared that my case wouldn't be taken seriously because of my history with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People.
I would later move to New York to escape the pressures of notoriety. Who would think that standing up for your constitutional right would make you a saint and a villain all at the same time?
Yes, I was secretary at my local branch of the NAACP. But who in their right mind wouldn't give time to fight for their civil rights? The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People was a necessary in our society.
The world wouldn't remember me. The world wouldn't remember the name Claudette Colvin.
My image and my story will be known the world over. The world will not forget the name Rosa Parks. I boarded the bus in downtown Montgomery, Alabama, December 1st, 1955, Thursday, late afternoon. I took a seat in the colored section of the bus, 4 rows behind the driver. The first 4 rows, of course, reserved for white folk. As we headed out of downtown, the white passengers began to fill the front section of the bus. One white man was left standing. The colored section around me was filled.
All right now, you 4. You 4, go ahead, get on up.
The young colored woman sitting next to me and the two colored gentlemen across the aisle did as they were told, got to their feet, and began to stand at the already crowded back of the bus.
All right now, you still sitting there? I said get up.
I'm not in the white section.
You know the rules now. The white section is filled. So I need you to vacate that seat so this man can sit.
There are 3 perfectly good seats available to him.
I've seen you on this bus before. You know good and well that the whites and coloreds can't share a row. I have the right to make room for other passengers. The white section is full. And so I say, you need to get up and go on to the back. You all gonna make it hard on yourself, or you all gonna move?
I'm not moving. I paid my fare. I'm in the colored section. I'm not moving.
Then you know what needs to be done. I'll call the police.
You may do as you must. I had been pushed to the point where I was tired of being pushed. In that moment, I had no fear. I had decided once and for all I had a right to remain seated, and so I did. It was Joanne Robinson, an English teacher at Alabama State College and president of the local chapter of the Women's Political Council, or WPC, who would take the lead in what was to become the altering change that was needed, the Montgomery bus boycott.
The arrest of Claudette Colvin set off a firestorm of support. Whites and blacks from all over the country sent money to support her case. But after the fervor died down, nothing happened. Then came the arrest of Mrs. Rosa Parks. Respected, eloquent, loved the community over, her arrest would set off a fire that would glow longer and brighter. You see, for years, Negro riders had endured daily humiliation riding city buses. We'd made complaints in the past. The Women's Political Council, of which I'm current president, spoke with bus company executives to no avail. We finally made audience with Mayor Gale and presented our grievances.
I'm tired of the discourtesies, the obscene language, and the name-calling and disrespect of the drivers. Also, buses stop by the block in white neighborhoods, but every 2 blocks in colored neighborhoods. 70% of city bus ridership.
Yes, and I've been riding the same bus for 12 years. Same route, yet the bus driver requires me and the other Negro riders to pay fares in the front of the bus. Then we're told to reboard in the back. Oh, and I've witnessed times where a bus driver will pull off before a passenger could reboard in the rear. They don't care about our safety.
The first 10 double sections of each bus are permanently reserved for white passengers. These seats remain reserved even when the bus is empty of white passengers. I can't tell you how many times after all day standing on my feet, I am left to stand at the back of a crowded bus while empty seats remain.
After hearing our grievances, Mayor Gale made the following citywide request. Buses were to stop at each block over the entire city. All riders were to be received through the front doors. Bus drivers were to show respect. We were heard, but our delight was short-lived. The behaviors of the past returned only weeks later. For months, the Women's Political Council had been discussing the B word. Yes, boycott. We planned to hit Montgomery in the pocketbook. We would start with one day, Monday, December 5th. With the help of 2 of my senior students and a midnight visit to the business department at Alabama State, enough flyers were mimeographed to blanket the city of Montgomery. There wouldn't be a colored man, woman, girl, or boy who wouldn't know about the boycott. By 4 a.m., we had finished duplicating, boxing, and loading the flyers into our cars. By 7 a.m., we had finished our distribution map. Yes, up all night. I had classes to teach. They had classes to attend. WPC members distributed flyers to